everybody, I just wanted to say that you look like a well-groomed Maine Coon cat. Like this one. She got freshly groomed yesterday. Okay, well, I tried. Today, we are doing something new. Just kidding, we're reading Reddit. Let's get into it. Am I the scallywag for telling my boyfriend not to come over anymore if he doesn't move in with me? Okay, little ultimatum, little toxic relationship stuff. We love it. Throwaway account because I don't want my boyfriend finding this. Me, 19-year-old female, and my boyfriend, 19-year-old male, oh, he's gonna find it. Have been together for almost 2 years, 1 year and 10 months. For context, I moved into my 1-bedroom apartment about 6 months ago. I live alone, I pay all my bills alone, and buy my own groceries. Good for you, 19 years old, my goodness. My boyfriend comes over every single day, and I'm not just saying that. He is literally there every day. I get home from work, and by the time I'm out of the shower, he is at the apartment. I didn't really mind at first because I was excited he was seeing me every day, because before that, he told me he didn't want to spend a lot of time with me, that it was overwhelming to him. Oh, now that he's got like a free space, he's like, it's not so bad. What a freeloader. So I was excited and happy he wanted to be with me. My love language is quality time. Well, fast forward, I've noticed an increase in my bills. Just last month, my utility bill increased by $70. Whether this was me or him, I'm not totally sure, but he's been there even when I'm not there. He's taken showers, watched TV. I'm not a huge TV person. And he'll leave the lights on, not to mention he uses the restroom all the time, sometimes 3 times. Okay, so this guy is irritable and has irritable bowel syndrome too? What the fuck? Okay, so there's that. And then I'm running out of my groceries faster than I'd like. I buy groceries just enough for me every 2 weeks, my pay schedule. I buy a pack of Cokes, 12, and that should last me the entire month, as I don't drink a lot of soda, but what do you know, I'm running out in 2 weeks. Why? Well, the example of him drinking all my sodas would be when we're watching TV. He ordered us a pizza, and while we were eating, he offered to grab me a drink, and I just told him to grab me a water, and he grabbed himself a soda, which I didn't mind since, like I said, I don't drink them often. He drinks the first soda, then he gets up to grab a second, and he comes back to the table and drinks the second, and I was visibly annoyed but didn't say anything. He then gets up again and walked to the fridge to grab a third. A thread! I quickly interrupted him and said, no. If you are very thirsty, you can have a water. You are not drinking all the sodas I just bought. To which he responds, what are you, my mom? Bruh. And I respond, no, but I'm your girlfriend and you didn't buy those. I did. When I want a soda, I want to be able to drink one. And he came back to sit down. He was mad. I know this because he does the thing where he clenches his jaw and he didn't speak to me for a while. Oh. Like when a toddler's upset? Classic. After this, I had a realization that he really is just living here without sleeping here. And he's not even sleeping there with you. He's not even like, you don't even get to cuddle someone at night. He's just drinking your soda, eating your food, using your shower, and shitting in your toilet 3 times a day and just leaving. That's wild. He's eating and drinking all my food and using my utilities. So I thought carefully of what I wanted to say and I got the right wording together. When he came over the next day, I brought up the conversation of why don't you just move in with me? And he just said, no, I don't want to. Dude, I feel like he's got a whole other life you don't know about. Like he has a family. You know, I know he's 19 years old, but you're like the second family. Like he just goes over there to hang out and says to the other family that he has a job, but he actually doesn't. That's what this feels like. I know it's not that, but that's what it feels like. And I was like, what? Why? You basically live here without sleeping here. You are here every day and using all of my things. I know I shouldn't have snapped like that, but that just completely threw me off. That wasn't snapping. You just said what was happening, basically. His reasoning started with, I want to finish school, which I would completely understand if he was in school. He's not. I'm thinking about finishing school, and until I figure out if I'm gonna finish school, and until I go into school and finish that school, I think I'm just gonna like hang. He missed the deadline to sign up for classes, so he's not enrolled right now, which I reminded him of. His next reason was, I don't want to live in an apartment, I want to live in a house. Wow, now it's just not good enough for him. Crazy. So I then said, we are 19, we aren't established, and I don't have money to put back for a house. You have to be realistic. We can eventually get a house, but an apartment is a part of that step. Very logical of you. And then he responded with, I just don't want to move out. I like having no responsibilities. I just like freeloading off my mom and my girlfriend. I don't know. This was finally the real answer. At least he was honest, you know? That's the only benefit of the doubt I'm gonna give him, is that he's finally being honest. Wow, just break up with him for me. He's such a deadbeat, I can't even fathom fathom it. I told him since he didn't want to move out and help me, then he can't come over every day, and we'll have to hang out at his house more often. It's been a week since this conversation, and he's still coming over every day, and I don't know what to do. I love his company, but I can't afford it. I still can't really wrap my head around his answer, and I'm trying to respect it, but part of me wonders if it was someone else, would he want to live with them? Would he support them? Or does he just not see a future with me? I'm not sure what to do. Any advice is appreciated. Do you really want to be with this person? It sounds like you say you love being around him, but it sounds like he's like your child. Like he's like your 19-year-old child, and you have to like take care of him. And it's just giving me the ick. Personally, I would just break up with him. I don't think this is worth it. I think you said that you can't come over to my place anymore, and he's still coming over. He's not respecting your boundaries, and that's just the 8th red flag I can see here. So at that point, he's just becoming like a freeloading stalker, kind of, a little bit. With IBS, I don't really know, but that's what I think. I just think you should dump this loser, and you just need to like flourish in your life. Personally, I think he's holding you back a lot and costing you too much money, to put it plainly. But let's see what the comments say. Does he have a key? If so, change the lock. If he comes over without prior arrangement, don't answer the door. He doesn't want to move in because he's getting all the benefits for free. He'd rather watch your TV, shower, and eat your food, etc., than do it at home. Yeah, honestly, and this is the kind of guy that you know, if you love him, you're like, can we get married? Can we get engaged? And he's like, yeah, sure. And then he just keeps putting it off and putting it off because, you know, he likes it how it is. He likes the non-committal, you know? This is the guy that has a 20-year engagement, if it even happens. A word of warning, before a couple move in together, they should both have lived away from their parents. It's way too easy for people to default to their partners becoming a parent surrogate and expecting to be catered to and cleaned around. That's easier said than done. It's very expensive to move out on your own, but I can appreciate what they're saying. Your boyfriend is already taking your and your apartment for granted. Do you think he will go 50-50 on housework, cooking, etc. with you? OP answered, but I'm almost saying no. I don't know how to just take it back. He accused me of crazy things before, and I don't want him to go crazy on me again. She's talking about the key. Like one time I said I didn't want him to come over, that I was with a friend, and he got all weird and said I was cheating on him. Yeah, you gotta leave. You kick him out the door, okay? I mean, just shut the door in his face and change your locks. This guy's a f***ing loser. Okay. Glad we talked about that. I have a camera at my door, and I showed him the footage of my girlfriend walking inside. With all these comments, it's opening my eyes that maybe I should leave him. I just don't know how. Text him, be like, you're a loser. You're not respecting my boundaries, and I don't want to be with you anymore. Never come over to my house anymore. Send. Bye. Problems. Problems fly away. You know, there's a lot of comments, but I don't even want to, I just want to get to the update because they're all basically like, he's an idiot, he's a red flag, yada, yada, yada. Let's read the update. Okay, we talked. This also just happened, so I'm mentally drained, so I'm sorry if this update isn't the best. I took his key, like many of you suggested. I told him until he learns to call me and ask if he can come over, and he cannot have the key. I also added with that, the key is only to be used for emergencies, and I don't feel like he should have it. Good for you. He then agreed to this, also went on to explain that it feels like we are in two different mindsets. That's why you should break up. Me having an apartment, steady income and responsibilities, and him living at home, no bills, etc., and then started to put the fault on me, saying it was too expensive and I shouldn't have moved out, but I didn't have a choice to move out. It was forced upon me. Who is this juvenile loser? Dude, we argued back and forth about it for a while, and he suggested me to budget my money. Be so for real right now. But I literally don't spend anything other than what I need. I have an interview for a second job tomorrow so I can start being able to afford things I want. That's besides the point. It was dumb, and I felt like deflection on his end. We fought back and forth some more, and then it eventually ended with me saying he is a child who isn't wanting to grow up right away. Exactly. And I don't want that around me forever. I don't know if we're broken up or what is really happening. I assume I'll know more about that tomorrow. Thank you everyone for your support and kind words. It really means a lot and has helped me see things I couldn't see before. I'm glad I reached out on here. Yeah, you're almost there. You're like at third base running to home. You just need to slide. You need to hit home, and he's gonna try to catch it, and he won't because he's a loser. He couldn't afford a glove, and it's gonna fall, and you're gonna be safe, and you're gonna be home, and he's not gonna have the key. Does that make sense? No. But you know what I mean? Just leave. Just leave. Is there another update? Please God, heaven. No, there's not another update. I can't believe the audacity of that guy. He's like, you need to budget better. You're the one who moved out, okay? You need to be responsible for me because I'm a little baby boy bitch, okay? So, and you got forced out too? Like, need to focus on you and being the queen that you are, okay? I'm tired. I don't even care. You just need to break up with him. I hope you did. It doesn't say whether you did or not. But yeah, that's it for that one. Let's just move on. Let me know what you guys think. Am I the asshole for not wanting to sleep in the same bed with my girlfriend because she doesn't shower often? Okay. What constitutes often? We will see. Me, 28 male, and my girlfriend, 27 female, live together. We've been together for about 3 years and moved in together about 6 months ago. She will shower maybe twice a week. Okay, could be more. I shower every night before bed because I think it's gross not to. Miraculously, she doesn't really have BO, and for the most part, her showering habits don't bother me, except that I'm starting to not want to sleep in the same bed with her at night. I can't stop thinking about her skin being dirty. She commutes to work by public bus and then spends all day teaching at an elementary school. Sometimes she goes to physical therapy after work and she still won't shower. Okay, I'm mustering everything not to place judgment yet, okay? I think it's nasty not to wash your body before getting into bed after all of that, and it makes me not want to cuddle up and sleep next to her and share sheets and blankets with her. I told her in a much gentler way how I was feeling, and she was really hurt, but said she'd tried to do better about showering before bed. That was a couple of months ago, and things haven't improved much. So I recently started sleeping on the couch. Oh no. She asked me why, and I told her again how I felt, and again, it hurt her feelings a lot. She said I should be more understanding because she's exhausted at the end of the day and showering is difficult for her. Am I the asshole? Okay. I'm gonna tell you a little story, all right? Real quick. A couple weeks ago, I wasn't feeling great. A little sad. You know, you get the weeks where you're a little sad. I was a little sad. I hadn't showered in a couple days, and that's weird for me. And Caleb noticed. He notices when I'm sad, and if I don't shower for multiple days, he's like, hey, what's going on? But he said it in a way who's like, hey, are you gonna shower tonight? Like, do you want to shower tonight? And I was just like, what do you think? I'm gross? When he was really just like, are you okay? Maybe taking care of yourself, doing a face mask, you know, maybe go in the hot tub before, like it'll all make you feel better. And I took it personally. So I understand her like taking it personally because she probably feels gross. And maybe I've learned through honestly reading Reddit that some people like didn't learn how to take care of themselves and their bodies growing up. And it's like an odd concept. And honestly, I love showering and I feel better when I do. But sometimes I'm just like, I don't feel like it. But I think, you know, I think what you're saying is completely valid. And, you know, you're sharing a space and you're sharing your opinions. And I think it's perfectly valid for her to work at a elementary school and take the bus and go to physical therapy and there's stuff on you at the end of the day. So it's one thing to be, you know, in a bad mental state or be depressed or something like that. But it just sounds like that's just her routine and she's tired and she just doesn't want to. But if she's not willing to compromise with that and you're not willing to understand that, then it sounds like you guys are in an impasse. That you can't have a relationship. I mean, you can have a relationship where you sleep on the couch and she sleeps in the bed, but I'm assuming, I mean, you guys are 28 and 27. Like that's not the kind of relationship you want. So that's tough. That's really tough. And I told that little story because like I understand when somebody tells you like, maybe you should shower. It's like, I'm disgusting. But it's like, yeah, you maybe kind of are and you need to shower. Yeah, I just think you want her to be clean because you want your bed to be clean and you want to cuddle her and you want to spend more time with her and be in close quarters with her. I think that's completely valid and I don't think that makes you the asshole, especially if you said it in a more gentle way as well. I don't think you're the asshole. Let's read the comments though. I'm really curious to know what people say. Info, is she showering less than she did before or were you just unaware of her shower schedule? This because how do you get to year 3? True. I mean, I guess they've only been living together for 6 months, so. And he said she doesn't have BO, but he just knows how the day went, so now he's very aware. And he doesn't answer that, so I guess we don't know. And another comment says, dude, if you're repulsed by the thought of sleeping with your girlfriend, then this relationship isn't going to work out. Yeah. If you think it's gross or disgusting or whatever, it's like, and she's not willing to shower more and you're not willing to understand, which is completely fine, then this is a deal breaker. I think. Another comment said, this is your preference and that's completely valid. If she grosses you out by her showering schedule, you need to break up. Comment under that says, I'm kind of confused how this doesn't come up prior to moving in with one another. I usually spend the night at my significant other's house and significant amount prior to sharing a space with them. It doesn't always show all the habits of someone else, but I'd imagine if they were gross at the end of the day, I would have slept next to them early on in the relationship and clocked that as a hard no, unless it's just knowing her shower schedule now that's grossing him out, I suppose. I feel like that's what it is. Like, for example, when I don't know, I came to visit or revisited Caleb and I'd only be here for like 4 or 5 days at like most. Near the end of before I moved, it was maybe like a week or 2 at a time, which is crazy thinking about it. Glad it worked out, thank God. But I feel like you can't really know someone's schedule if you're only spending like a few days at a time with each other. I don't know. I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt, but yeah, luckily we both shower very often, thank God. But yeah, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. There's no other update. Sorry, I thought this one had an update, but there's not. So we'll read another one. I have feelings for my wife's best friend. Okay, this is from r/drew off my chest. I don't like this already. My wife and I have been happily married for almost 10 years. I have 2 kids and are so happy. Let me start by saying I love her so much. She is perfect to me and I would never do anything to hurt her except for fall in love with another woman. Oh, that's just, I'm waiting for the big but. A few years back, we moved into a new neighborhood and my wife started befriending one of our new neighbors. They got along tremendously and became very close very quick. Her husband and I get along and like each other, but aren't nearly as close. Over the past year, I've been more and more drawn to my wife's best friend. Her and my wife could not be more opposite. Oh, brother, dude. My wife is short, blonde, thick, shy, self-conscious, and hilarious. Low libido, very nervous about anything sexual. Okay, well, I can see you're just shitting on your wife immediately. Wife's best friend is tall, brunette, slim, and athletic, super outgoing and confident, and is very comfortable and open with her sexuality, i.e. sends her husband special pictures at work, lots of lingerie, etc. I can't with these people. I don't know if it's the stark difference, but I can't stop thinking about her, get excited when she's around with my wife, etc. I had a dream last night where wife's best friend and I kissed in secret. Not make out, no sex, just a kiss, but I can't get it out of my head. I don't need to sleep with her or anything, but would love to see one of those pictures. I need to shower several times after reading that sentence. I hope your wife finds this post, and I hope she divorces you. I know nothing will ever come of it and I don't want it to, but I can't ignore this attraction. This makes me mad. This makes me physically mad. Let's look at his profile. Okay, he's only got 1 post. Let's look at what he comments on. Okay, it's just his own post, so I guess we'll read that. Yeah, wow. I don't have any notes besides your wife deserves better, you're a piece of shit, and you know, it's one thing to be like attracted to somebody else or appreciate someone else's beauty, but you are literally saying that you have feelings for another woman and you're downplaying your beautiful wife and you're having sexual thoughts about another human being. So I think you should leave your partner and just go do something else. So you have 2 choices: bury the feelings or blow up your life. Also, the way you're describing these women is kind of gross. That's how I feel. I literally feel like I need to shower. Another comment says, you can't help a spark of attraction, whatever, fine. But everything you do to feed fuel to the fire and fan the flames is 100% your choice. You need to cut off your mind towards her and stop spending time thinking about her. No, you don't need to see those pictures. You don't need to know the details of that sex life. You don't need to wonder her favorite ice cream flavor or whatever. Treat her like you treat a cashier at Walmart. Polite, civil, and super surface level. Don't give the fire any fuel to burn and don't fan the flames. I think he answered that. What did he say? I don't ask to know about it. She is super open about it. Oh, super open about it. Whatever, dude. Yeah, your wife deserves better. This is so weird. Just weird. It makes me icked out. I'll read one more because there isn't an update for that. Brother-in-law's fiance claims my family never RSVP'd, but I'm the only one without a seat. Okay. Interesting. My brother-in-law is getting married soon. My husband is the best man, and our 4-year-old is the ring bearer. I'm a part-time party planner, so I've been helping plan a small luncheon for the bridal party, immediate family, and a few vendors on the wedding day, so I'm not exactly a fringe guest here. The RSVP deadline was a few weeks ago. I filled out the online form and submitted it the same day the invitation came in the mail, with my husband sitting right next to me. We RSVP'd for the 3 of us, me, my husband, and our son. Easy peasy, right? Well, brother-in-law's fiance, sister sister-in-law, ? Reached out today over text saying we never RSVP'd. Not, hey, I never saw your RSVP, just checking, but straight up, you didn't respond, which is frustrating on its own. But then she tells us that while my husband and son have seats at the reception as they were in part of her original head counts, I do not. Your fucking 4-year-old son has a seat, but you don't? What the This is so weird. She hates you. This is so weird. My husband was told I could come early with him to set up the luncheon still and stay for the ceremony, but that I would not have a spot at the reception. Let me repeat that. I'm married to the best man, mother of the ring bearer, and helping with the wedding day logistics, including connecting sister-in-law with some of the professionals' contacts. And she somehow decided I just wouldn't be coming. And she never followed up before the RSVP deadline. Just what? I'm torn between feeling hurt, furious, and just flabbergasted. And used. I definitely feel used. At best, this was a sloppy mistake that she's not owning. At worst, it feels like a pointed exclusion. I'm not sure which stings more. This has to be pointed. She has to hate you for some reason, and I need to know why. I need to know the tea. My husband is going to handle the conversation with his brother to figure out what is going on, because I genuinely don't trust myself to be polite and keep the peace. There was no other drama leading up to this that I was aware of. I have a good relationship with my in-laws, so yeah, this is totally out of left field for me and my husband. I would love to hear thoughts, especially from people who've gone through something similar. I don't typically touch weddings with work, so this is all new territory for me as a pseudo-vendor guest. My husband wants to reach out and talk to his brother first, but I'm so tempted to reach out to my mother-in-law before our usual meetup tomorrow to see if she knows anything. Oh yeah, text your mother-in-law. I'd be like, did something go wrong? Like, I would need to know immediately. That is so weird. Like, I mean, we don't have any context, so I have no idea why, but it just seems so odd to just be got out. And I get that, you know, your husband and your son are working the wedding kind of, but you help too. This is so weird. I don't really know. I would text the mother-in-law. I'd be nosy as fuck. And then let your brother talk to, or your husband talk to the brother-in-law and just figure that out. So strange. You are smart to wait and let Hubs talk to his brother out. I kind of want to just stir the pot, but that's probably better advice. I'm flabbergasted also. That is freaking nuts. And this is coming from someone who is totally laid back and not someone who usually takes things personally. Just try to take your mind off it and see what Hub reports. Go from there. Yeah, that's probably what you should do, I guess. Whatever. Oh, okay. But we have a mini update, so I'm just gonna read that. Small update. Husband and brother-in-law are talking now. Oh, quick work. Okay, work. Brother-in-law was not working today, last night, and was helping father-in-law with something this evening. When I called mother-in-law, she was with brother-in-law. Call husband right away. She had brother-in-law call husband right away. Got it. From what mother-in-law and I can hear, where's Snoopy? Oh, bitch, me too. My husband was muted on brother-in-law's phone and my contact was deleted. What did you do? You're hot, aren't you? I bet. Brother-in-law can't log into the wedding website, so we can't check to see if our RSVP was there. I'm not sure if I want to become a firecracker myself or get some popcorn as I watch mother-in-law pop off. I wish I was there. I wish I was there. I like this so much. Wow, I'm so glad I chose this one. Okay, so my husband finally got a hold of brother-in-law after I called mother-in-law. No one else knew this was going on. While they were talking, brother-in-law tried logging into their website to see if this was a mistake or misunderstanding, but couldn't log in. So he texted sister-in-law to see if she changed the password, and she just told him to come home instead. So the bride took over the whole website and is hiding evidence. What is happening right now? What is literally happening right now? This set off 3. 1. Brother-in-law ended the call with husband. 2. Call sister-in-law about why she couldn't answer a simple question. His future wife. 2. Mother-in-law popped off about how dare that woman exclude OP. We love mother-in-law. Uncommon mother-in-law W. 3. Mother-in-law and father-in-law popped off on brother-in-law for already living with sister-in-law. Okay, so they're in trouble for living together before being married. Okay, love it. They are very religious and traditional and don't believe that a couple should live together before marriage. Husband and I sympathize with brother-in-law. Brother-in-law and sister-in-law argued over the phone. Apparently, she started claiming that it was an unfortunate glitch and it was too late to add another seat now. Then it was that we never jived, and would it really be so bad if I went home early? She's jealous of you. She's jealous. You're hot. I know it. Plus, I could take our son home with me because he would be tired by then. At 5 p.m.? This woman does not know kids. Then it was, I've always been mean and excluding her from things, even though she's never invited me to any of the girly fun wedding events. At this point, my husband and I are glued to my phone as we're hearing yelling from all four of them until sister-in-law hangs up. Brother-in-law is spending the night at his parents' and is unsure about the wedding now. He plans on going home tomorrow with husband going with for moral support. I'll be going with hubby to my in-laws to hang out until we hear back about the situation at the battlefront, at the Vanguard. Wow. I must know why she didn't invite you. I need to know. I must know. Okay. Oh, wait. OP adds. Okay. I initially wasn't invited to the bridal shower. Then her mom brought it up at Easter dinner, and that's when I was awkwardly invited. I guess her vibe always felt off to me. She doesn't like my hobbies, specifically TTRPGs and video games. They're hobbies I have in common with mother-in-law. Okay, slay mother-in-law, I guess. I don't know what TTRPGs is, but I know video games. That's crazy. And sister-in-law stopped bashing them as much when she found out mother-in-law also partakes in quests across Tamriel and the Forgotten Realm. Tamriel? What? Oh. Just RPGs? Oh my god, Skyrim? Wait, I want to be friends with you and your mother-in-law. Wait, what's happening? Can we be friends? And then we have another update, mini update 3, 2 hours later. Okay, sorry, one more 1 a.m. update. Husband is asleep. I should be too, but still reeling and pissed. I thought to take a screen cap of the message she sent, hubby, for future proof, and it's gone. She used Facebook Messenger to text my husband, and it says her texts are deleted. Dare I say, arg. Why is she so crazy? I must know, and we have another update 2 days later. Thank God. Update. Just to clarify, something from the original post, I did not plan everything for the wedding. I offered to bring food for a small luncheon between photos, 10 a.m. and the ceremony 4 p.m., as dinner wasn't planned until 6 p.m. It was going to be a long day at a farm in the middle of nowhere. I offered to do it to be nice, but also to make sure no one, specifically a certain 4-year-old, would be hangry for the ceremony. Sister-in-law also only used one of my vendor contacts, so with things going south, my professional reputation shouldn't really be impacted. Okay, that's good. That's still a lot to offer for a wedding, so that's nice. Update. Turns out the no seat for OP issue was the problem that broke brother-in-law's relationship. Broke it. Oh wow, they're not gonna get married? And we're a bit upset brother-in-law didn't talk to anyone about this until it blew up. Behind the scenes, brother-in-law and sister-in-law were having arguments about their future together. Most of these arguments centered around having kids. Early on, sister-in-law gave the impression that she wanted children someday, but as they got more serious, she started backtracking. A few months ago, brother-in-law realized that it's very likely sister-in-law never wanted kids, but felt too invested in the relationship to leave. That makes no sense to me, by the way. Like, what's your plan? Like, after you get married, you're just gonna fake it for like the next 10 to 20 years? Like, I don't understand that. That's stupid. But brother-in-law always imagined having a large family, so this really shook him, as it should. That is a deal breaker. On top of that, sister-in-law apparently had jealousy and insecurity issues because you're hot. Per brother-in-law, I've been her latest target, which started when I turned down going to a mani-pedi with her. Oh, brother. Why did I turn her down? Husband and son had rotavirus. Apparently, I was icing her out by not wanting to spread gastrointestinal doom. Can anyone please explain this logic to us? I cannot. Lastly, sister-in-law was apparently already floating the idea of disinviting our son from the reception because he would have been the only small child there. Brother-in-law shut that down immediately, and mother-in-law, father-in-law kept that knowledge from us to spare our feelings. Ergo, our lost RSVP was not a software glitch, nor was it an oversight, but rather a stupidly calculated move. I knew it. I fucking knew it. I'm glad he dodged a bullet, because yeah, it might be an expensive breakup and all that, but gosh, it probably saved him years of his life of just not knowing and her probably stringing him along and all this bullshit. Jeez Louise. Amazing. I'm glad they're not getting married. You are not the bad guy in any way. You're literally so hot. I know it in my heart of hearts. And slay. Basically slay. Also, I love that you play Skyrim, Oblivion, and Tamriel and all that stuff, tabletop games. Amazing. I think you're cool, and me, you, and your mother-in-law need to game together, I think. Is there any, I don't know, I don't think there's any other updates. No. Yeah, no, but I mean, like, yeah, having no, or saying that you want kids and then deciding that you don't is just so manipulative. Like, it's just, what a red flag. What a walking red flag. Mess. Dodged a bullet. Happy for you. Let me know what you guys think. I'm tired. My voice is going. Maybe I'm getting sick. Oh, crap. Oh, well. I'll see you guys in the next one.